In the quiet hills of Georgia, in the United States, until a few years ago stood a monument that seemed out of time. It did not celebrate a king, nor a battle. It did not remember the dead. It was a message carved in stone, meant for someone who did not yet exist. For the survivors of a finished world, it did not speak to those who were there. It spoke to those who would remain. They were called Georgia Guidestones, and no one has ever truly known who wanted them. The Georgia Guidestones were a granite monument made of 6 enormous stone blocks. They were erected in 1979, and from the very beginning, someone nicknamed them the American Stonehenge. They stood above a granite quarry, in a carefully chosen position, solid, resistant, isolated. A place designed to last. According to the most widespread interpretation, those stones were not just an artistic or symbolic work, they were a guide to rebuild a society after a global catastrophic event, not a monument to the past, but an instruction for what comes after. What made everything even more enigmatic was the identity of the person who commissioned them. In 1979, a man calling himself R.C. Christian contacted a local construction company. He said he represented a group of people. He used a pseudonym. He demanded one thing only: absolute anonymity. And so it was. Even today, we do not know who he really was. A philanthropist? An idealistic group? Or someone convinced the world was about to end? Whoever built them did not want to be remembered. Carved into the stones were 10 rules, written in 8 modern languages. Rules not meant for us, but for those who would come after. Some were almost reassuring. Protect nature. Seek balance between rights and duties. Avoid unnecessary laws. Others, however, were far more controversial. One in particular stated, maintain humanity under 500 million individuals in perpetual balance with nature. A sentence that sparked debate for decades. Who would decide? How? And above all, why? The language was calm. The content was not. Read within the context of the Cold War, however, that sentence takes on a different shade. In those years, the idea of a nuclear apocalypse was not science fiction. It was a concrete possibility, a daily fear. In that climate, those rules do not speak of control. They speak of survival after collapse. Perhaps they were not a plan, perhaps they were a testament. The Georgia Guidestones were not just words. They were also a tool. The monument functioned as a compass, clock, and calendar. A hole in the central pillar allowed identification of the North Star. A slit aligned with solstices and equinoxes. And every day at noon, a beam of light marked the day of the year. As if someone had thought of everything, even time, even the sky. They did not explain the world, they taught how to orient within it. Over time, the monument also attracted suspicion and fear. For some, it was proof of a new world order. For others, a satanic symbol. For still others, just a utopia carved in stone. The Georgia Guidestones became a mirror. Everyone saw in them what they feared most. The monument did not change. The viewers did. On July 6, 2022, shortly before dawn, an explosive charge severely damaged the monument. The stones, now unstable, were demolished for safety reasons. Those who built it remained anonymous, and anonymous remained those who destroyed it. The American Stonehenge disappeared. In silence. The Georgia Guidestones no longer exist, but the question they posed is still here. If the world truly had to start again, which rules would we choose to carve into stone? Pause. Would they be a message of hope or a warning?